Yeah, that's fantastic. I'll just grab my credit card. Yeah, no, I'm coming back. I'm just gonna grab my credit card and 512 gigabytes of everything for me, please. Thank you, Tim. Thank you so much. Hi, have you watched the keynote? I'm so glad finally the rumors are gonna be over, which I really don't like following. People with the dummy iPhones are gonna go away, and now we can rest until next September. So I watched the event, of course, glued to the screen, and I did a simultaneous translation to Turkish. And but I want to share my thoughts about this event because I think this is the first event that was the least, I don't even know, it was so, didn't touch anything. Not that the products are bad. First of all, the event started with the Apple Arcade. They're gonna give you 100 games and it's $4.99. It's pretty nice. And then the Apple TV Plus, which is $4.99 too. And then we saw some of the exclusives. Jason Momoa, really good. Everything's nice. We'll see what happens in time. And then we had a minor iPad update, which was good. Nothing bad. All these products are already good. So any update is good. And then last year's star, Apple Watch 4 last year, stole the show. It was better than anything else during that keynote. Apple Watch 5, minor updates. I think that was my first losing, you know how you watch a movie and you start waking up from the movie and you realize where you are and then you can never get back into the movie. I think that was one of the things for me. Apple Watch 5 is still, these are all better than what we have right now. So they're better than what we have right now. You see what I'm saying? They're not bad products. But for the leap forward that I wanted to see from Apple, I think I have a couple of problems with that. So Apple Watch 5 has always on screen, which is probably good. Whenever I look at my watch, the screen turns on. But it's good. It's good. I'm glad it exists. It's very nice. And it has a compass now. Very nice. I was really happy that it comes in ceramic because ceramic is one of my favorite materials on Apple Watch. And I cannot wait to have one. And also it comes in titanium. All right, good. But then I think this is where the problem began. Then they announced iPhone 11. iPhone 11, I feel like it's a really big deal. It's a pretty good device. It's 10R. They cut out the name R, cut out the part R, and they just made it iPhone 11. So it feels like you're getting the real iPhone, not the discount version. But it is cheaper. It doesn't come with a fast charger. They did nothing to the screen, which is, I like it. I like how stubborn they are going against all, I'm so depressed about iPhone 10R screen kind of nonsense. Unless you're looking at that screen with VR, you really can't see the pixels or anything. If that was the case, iPad would have been terrible to look at. You can see that the same guy who said iPhone 10R screen is depressing, looking at the iPad Pro screen and actually saying the screen looks really good. So keep that in mind. So don't fall for that psychological game. It's a really good device. And I think it's gonna be really good. The front-facing camera can shoot 4K 60 frames per second video. It's a really big deal. And when you shoot in 4K 30 frames per second with front-facing camera, you get the extended dynamic range. Finally, we have the night mode, and iPhone 11, unlike iPhone 10R, gets all the portrait mode effects with the rear camera because it has two lenses, wide and super wide, a better battery life, better water resistance, and it has an ultra wideband chip in it, which allows your phone to have spatial awareness. So if you want to drop a file to someone when you hold your phone towards that person, if that person has the same thing, that person's name is gonna appear first. So in time, I think that's gonna be a useful feature, but they never mentioned this because of the time issues, I believe. But still, it starts from 64 gigabytes. which you should never get 64 gigabytes. Price difference between 64 and 128 is very little. It's $50, so pay $50 more and get 128 gigabytes. And then the main star, which is where I was expecting, I don't know, a lot more. iPhone 11 Pro and iPhone 11 Pro Max. They are all fantastic phones. They are all better than iPhone XS and XS Max, which I really like, and in all of my tests they perform really good. I use XS Max all the time. It's a fantastic phone, never disappoints. I'm very happy with it. So obviously this is going to be a better phone. But here is what I expected. Even though there is a newer Face ID, which they say is faster and it works with different angles, so now we can unlock our phones while holding it sideways, which iPhone 11 doesn't have, by the way. And it has textured matte glass in the back. It all sounds good. The three cameras are they just sound fantastic how they work, and they can shoot 4K 60 frames per second in any lens. I think that's a really big deal, and I think they mentioned it because even on Samsung Note 10, when you switch to 4K 60 frames per second, you cannot use the other lenses. Note 10 Plus I have here has so many weird things that it cannot do that it is taking me forever to write them down and show you in my review. And I think they mentioned these about iPhone 11 and iPhone 11 Pro and iPhone 11 Pro Max, and then iPhone 11 Pro Max Diesel Super Hybrid. Because it is a very big deal. It also shoots 4K 60 frames per second with the front-facing camera, with the back-facing camera. Even if you shoot in 4K 60 frames per second, you still get the extended dynamic range. They all sound fantastic. All of these features are very, very useful. They added audio zoom, didn't mention it. Cool, okay. 5-hour more battery life on iPhone 11 Pro Max compared to iPhone XS Max, and 4-hour more battery life on iPhone 11 Pro compared to iPhone XS. Woo! The screen is new, the screen is brighter. It is 800 nits instead of 625, and if you watch something in HDR, I think it's 1000 nits, 1200 nits. Amazing updates, and everything is really good. But I think what made me didn't get that thing you get out of Apple keynotes was, I think I expected something more from the true depth camera system. I think I wanted it to be a little smaller. Maybe I wanted some similar things in the back. Something that makes it Apple. Like when they bought the company that makes the animoji and memoji, and then when they introduced that, there was nothing like that in this keynote. The videos, the photos and everything, they look fantastic, and I'm sure they're much better than these, and I'm sure it's gonna kick a lot of other phones butts. But as for the keynote, there was something, I don't know, what do you think? What do you think? Also, you can put it in 4-meter deep water for 30 minutes and it's gonna be fine. And this used to be 2 meters. So the water resistance is much better. So in every way, it seems like they made the iPhone 11 better than already great iPhone XS and iPhone XS Max. Unless the rumors are true and they're saving the new design and everything for the 2020 version, I really wanted it either have a discount or maybe a smaller true depth camera system. Even a tiny bit smaller, it would have been nice. By the way, iPhone 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max is taller, wider, thicker and heavier compared to iPhone XS and XS Max. iPhone 11 has same dimensions as iPhone XR. Of course, I'm 100% sure they look fantastic, they feel fantastic, they work fantastic. But it's so hard for me to explain because it's also my second language. But there was one thing missing. That one more thing. No, like one thing, am I wrong? Please let me know. Please let me know in the comment section below. I'll be getting these devices once the pre-orders open up, and I will release a review about them. But until then, I wanted to share my initial reaction, mostly about the keynote. When they uploaded the wide angle, by the way, most of the people sitting in the audience, they're the people who work at Apple. So when they see their product on the screen, they're of course having much more excitement. So they clap, they applaud like crazy, which doesn't translate like that when you're watching. When you're watching, it seems like the audience, the people who were invited, are clapping like that. But no, I think it's mostly the people who work in these projects. 800 people works on the camera. A couple of years ago, it was 800 only on the camera. Just think about that. I want to really know what you thought about the keynote. If you want to decide between iPhone 11 and iPhone 11 Pro, which one would you pick? Or Pro Max? I don't know. What would you have named these products? Thank you very much for watching. Subs if you dubbed it, dubs if you loved it. I don't know what Dave says, but something like that. And until I see you next time, take really good care of yourselves. And hoşça kalın.